You might remember about a year and a half ago, I took you on a research mission at the tip of Minnesota's Arrowhead. We tagged along with biologists as they tranquilized moose from the air, collared them, and took some samples. Well, now new data collected from that mission is shedding light on why Minnesota's moose population has plunged. Northern News Now's Natalie Hebner followed up with those researchers today to learn about their findings. Natalie?
Yeah, Dan, according to the DNR, Minnesota's moose population is down, but has been stabilizing over the past decade, with around 3,700 moose reported each year. Now, a new study published this month highlighted new tools and findings researchers at the University of Minnesota and the Grand Portage Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa have learned. The researchers say a primary cause of moose deaths is from the brainworm parasite, which attacks the moose's neurological and nervous system. Researchers say once infected, moose can be easily preyed upon by other animals or be confused and wander in front of cars. We tagged along on the research back in February last year to see the data collection in action. In the study, experts analyzed around 250 fecal samples from moose in Minnesota, finding evidence that moose consume gastropods like slugs and snails that carry the parasite. U of M researcher Tyler Garwood says the new evidence can help researchers target the slugs infected with brainworm.
What species of slugs or snails are moose and deer coming into contact with, and then when are they coming into contact with them? Where might that happen? So just learning more about that really important interaction.
Garwood says he helps study the evidence through a molecular technique to determine what kind of infected snails and slugs the moose are eating. The technique is normally used for diet analysis of animals, but can be used to determine the types of gastropods moose eat. Garwood says deer are the typical carriers of brainworm and then pass it on to the moose. Deer populations drastically increase during warmer and less harsh winters, causing more parasite transmission and, in turn, more moose deaths.
All right, thank you, Natalie. And coming up at 6, we're going to take a closer look at this research and hear from another expert about the next steps for the moose population.